Tonight on Thursday Night Football on CBS, the Houston Texans host the Indianapolis Colts. It's one of 15 NFL games in Week 6. That means 15 teams will be on the move this weekend. For each contest, one team faces a huge logistical challenge. Jan Crawford got incredible access to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers while the team was on the move. Jan, good morning.
Well, good morning. So, you know, when you turn on an NFL game, I mean, we're obviously focusing on what's happening on the field, but it is unbelievable what happens behind the scenes to get that visiting team there every other week. They're packing up and moving, not only the players, staff, coaches, but all that gear. And most of it, let me tell you what, is supersized.
Yeah, baby!
When the Tampa Bay Buccaneers came from behind to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers with 7 seconds left in the game, the team's operation manager, Tim Jarocki, took only a second to celebrate. For Jarocki, post-game is crunch time.
As soon as the clock hits 0, I'm sending out a text to everybody, letting them know that game is over at X time, and then buses are rolling in 60 minutes after that.
In the locker room.
The action behind the scenes here in Pittsburgh is months in the making. Planning that started back home in Tampa. That's critical, says Bucs COO Brian Ford, to the team's performance on the field.
We're dealing with professional athletes that have a job to do, and you want to take the travel and the whole process off of their plate so they can concentrate on what they're paid to do, and that's win football games.
You're clear.
We'll fly to all the games.
Everything is geared toward helping the players, like setting up TSA screening at their practice facility instead of the airport, and transporting all that gear.
We sent 16,000 pounds of equipment.
16,000 pounds.
Correct. We basically take a little bit of everything from this room and bring it with us.
Face guard. This room is equipment manager Jim Sorensen's domain. Most of it gets packed up and shipped for every road game.
Most players will have a new pair of shoes and a backup used pair of shoes in their travel bag tomorrow before we leave for Pittsburgh in case.
So you've got to take 2 boxes of shoes for every player.
Basically, yes. This is a size 18 shoe.
Oh my God. Wow, that's like my arm. Look at that shoe. When it's time to go, everything is planned down to the minute. From the equipment truck departure to the players boarding buses for a police-escorted ride to the Tampa airport.
Buses are rolling, copy that, thank you.
Now comes the handoff to charter coordinator Jeff Lucas and his team at United Airlines.
We'll get everything and we push off the gate and go.
So how important is timing?
Timing is everything.
But it's not the only thing. How do you get a 300-pound lineman, into a coach seat? They're pretty small.
Very carefully.
We kind of sitting like in a little box.
Defensive tackle Gerald McCoy has earned his seat in first class along with all the other linemen. It's new coach Lovie Smith's way of sending a message about the importance of the men on the front lines.
It all starts up front on both sides of the ball. Everything we do says that, but you want to acknowledge it with this also. So setting up in first class lets them know that they're, first class guys really.
Once the plane is in the air, Larry, Warren, and his crew take over the meal service, as they do on every Bucs flight throughout the season. This is a lot of food.
They've already started working out, so when they get on the plane, they were hungry.
The entire meal is planned by a nutritionist. You've got all these like steak, chicken, shrimp, spinach salad, but the dessert is frozen fruit bars and skinny cow ice cream.
Yes, that's going. You want to make sure they're prepared for the game tomorrow, so we don't want to overdo the sugar intake.
That might actually be them right there coming down.
When the team lands in Pittsburgh, the players head to their hotel. Jim Sorensen collects the cargo and immediately drives to Heinz Field, the venue for the next day's game.
We go from the airport to the stadium and basically set up the locker room, unpack all the player bags into their locker, which is their helmets, their shoulder pads, their shoes, their gloves. We'll also hang the jerseys and pants just to make sure we didn't forget anything.
Ironically, for the team behind the team, the least stressful moments of the weekend come when the players first take the field. But that brief calm ends at halftime when they pack it all back up to take it home. Which brings us back to that final play, which set off celebration back at the airport and set in motion the countdown clock for departure from Pittsburgh.
The game is over.
Good.
At 4:45 local time, buses scheduled to depart in 60 minutes.
You doing the outside? Yes, sir. You got it.
What took months to plan wraps up in just over an hour. And the most amazing fact of all, they basically do it every other weekend. Now, this is the one flight that can't be delayed. I mean, millions of fans are counting on it. So you can be sure that United Airlines, which, by the way, has been flying NFL teams for 50 years, has more contingency plans to get that plane there than you can imagine. Charlie?
Jan, thank you so much.
That was great.
Yeah. Jan, I have a question. So do they pack up the jerseys dirty? Is it stinky?
Yeah, because they don't have time to wash it. That's it. That all goes back right away. So who knows? Somebody's got a lot of work to do back when they get to Tampa, too.
But all the work that goes into it was really fascinating to see. I guess I never thought about all the behind the scenes.
And
I
how
figured
fast they do it and how organized it is.
I figured guys, they grab their bag and go. That's not how it works. Yeah. Nice,
All right.
Dan. Nice.
Jan.
You can catch all the action as the Colts take on the Texans tonight on Thursday Night Football. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern right here on CBS.